The main objective of this international forum is to learn, review, and update what has been done in the Gambia and to draw useful lessons and good practices from countries and organizations that have successfully implemented projects concerning FGMC in Africa and in Europe through the promotion of a holistic approach.
This FDM conference is the first of its kind, as I said earlier, for a very long time in the Gambia. Mr. Chairman, having said that, and of course looking forward to the outcome of this meeting and the report that will emanate from here and the recommendations for the attention of government, I now have the singular honor to declare this conference open and wish you fruitful deliberations and sharing of lessons of good practice. I thank you all for your kind attention while wishing you Allah's guidance and blessings. Thank you.
Continents and colors do not emigrate, but rather people and their cultures do. What once was local is now global, and FGM is in diaspora.
Le statut d'être humain confère une dignité à chaque individu. Et cette dignité confère à son tour des droits fondamentaux qui sont protégés et garantis par les constitutions, les lois nationales et les instruments internationaux de protection des droits humains. Donc, parmi les droits reconnus, on peut se référer au droit à la santé, au droit à l'éducation, au droit au respect, au droit à l'intégrité physique, au droit à l'épanouissement, etc., etc.
What we can recommend is it is a tradition but not an Islamic duty, but we know that it's a danger to the health of women. If it is a danger to the health of women, Islam never promotes danger as we heard earlier in the presented. But Islam is always for love, for peace, for protecting the child.
We also realize that entrenched cultures cannot be changed overnight, and therefore need gradual approaches and persistent strategies.
The support for an impact assessment on FGMC. As we have said earlier, a lot has been done and a lot more needs to be done. But we have to determine the level of change that has taken place over the past 2 decades to avoid duplication as well as to identify a gap, particularly in terms of geographical coverage.
People are only convinced by research that shows evidence-based research. Therefore, it must be based on empirical data and evidence, which would create an understanding, no doubt, an enabling environment through health-related studies to confirm its health and or medical implications, which may have been documented over the years. Some studies have been done. So this is a very good forum where you can share those studies and lessons from other countries that all of us can learn together.
That Islam has given women rights that no religion has ever given a woman. So we Muslims, particularly the scholars, we have a big task. We must accept the reality. We must accept the reality that Islam has a genuine case against all civilizations, but unfortunately enough,
if we have a religious leader that is an authoritative religious leader that comes to us and says, look, you don't need to do this for the Quran. In fact, you're a good Muslim if you don't do it. That lifts a burden, because up to now we've been told that we had to do it.
To implement a preventive strategy of social action aimed at protecting minors without stigmatizing immigrant communities. And it's this particular challenge also, in addition to a basic search for our role in this struggle, that also influences a great deal of what is being done.
As coming from a university background, one is research and the other one is training. And this shows the high need of training of the health professionals and the students on the issue. And this is what we have been doing for the past many years in Spain, and it's working. On a daily basis, when you deal with the African families.
En cuanto a la evaluación de conocimiento, el 92% dice saber en qué consiste la mutilación genital femenina, y a la hora de identificar la tipología, solo un 8% lo identifica de manera correcta.
It's a belief in Africa that it's a socialization process, that indeed it's a passage of right. And therefore it's very important to society. You cannot be effectively socialized in Africa, we believe, at least among the female folk, indeed among the male as well, unless you pass through the process. Not just the operation, the cutting, that we are against, but indeed the entire socialization. Because it's an education process. You have to realize that it goes beyond just the cutting of the genitals. There are other things that happen during that period.
It has developed various strategies to change negative cultural practices without disrupting positive underlying values.
If we do our work well and quickly, we will make a huge impact on violence against women and girls generally.
It is very clear that FGM cannot be eliminated in isolation, as we heard from the Vice President this morning. Therefore, effective response through multi-sectoral involvement and partnership building at all levels is actually necessary.
We work with ethnic groups across borders and even in the diaspora. Because what we have found is that, for example, in Senegal, where people have abandoned female genital cutting, the immigrants have come back and been very upset because they have found that a practice they left in the village is now changed, and they're worried. How did this happen? They don't understand. And most of all, they were not involved in the process.
El enfoque transnacional que ha adoptado el equipo de investigación que ha sido presentado ayer como programa general, yo pienso que un poco lo que acabas de decir tiene que ver con esto, tiene que ver con que lo que se está haciendo aquí tiene una repercusión en Europa, y lo que se está haciendo en Europa tiene una repercusión aquí. Un observatorio transnacional precisamente permite observar, medir las transformaciones, los cambios, hacer las propuestas necesarias de acuerdo a la realidad y a los contextos en origen y en destino